Good morning, good afternoon, good day, what's up, hello, how's it going? And whatever greeting of choice may be, thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning into the Brunch Gimmick. It is good to see you. It is 11 a.m. out in my neck of the woods, Edmonton, Alberta, but we were chatting before the stream. Four Canadian provinces represented this morning. A great day yesterday for Canadian pro wrestling. We're going to chat through all of it and then close today's show out with a little bit of great Canadian wrestling from right here in Edmonton. Nicole Matthews versus Jody Threat from LPW6. But before we get there, friends, it's good to see you. Thank you for being here. Ben, it is good to see you. And of course, we are going to be chatting some IWS. Of course, your big return. I did wear your shirt. What do you guys all got on for your wrestling fashion today?
I got the birthday boy Speedball Mike Bailey.
An excellent choice. Blair?
I'm going with the Bret Hart shirt in hopes that I get more love for it than CM Punk did in Calgary with his choice of gears.
Buddy, that ain't a high bar to clear. Mike, you look more like you said, like a dentist's office paper cup than a wrestling shirt today.
Yeah, I'm royally shitting the bed on wrestling shirts, but I am representing Wishender. They're a fine deathcore band from London, Ontario, Canada.
Don't worry, we ain't here to begrudge. Like Ophelia even said too, it's not as though I got the hat memo for the second week in a row. Might I add?
There's a whole hat chat you're not a part of.
That's like too good to even make a portmanteau. It's like a portmanteau in and of itself, you know? Like it's a hat chat. It's a hat already. That was a shitty way for me to kick it off. Good to see y'all, baby. Good to see you. JPJ, good to see you. And thank y'all for being here. If you've got anything you want to talk about as far as pro wrestling goes, as far as it's going to go with the week that is, the week that was, anything in between, feel free to let us know. Of course, we want to thank RK Athletics for their support here for the Brunch Gimmick. Not just us, so everything we've got going on here on Love Wrestling. And since day one, they've been doing it. So make sure you support them right back. Head to RK Athletics 1 on social media, whether it be Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'd have to assume on Threads at this point. Rich is pretty on top of the social media. So I won't guarantee that. I'm assuming here a little bit. But as we all know, assuming sometimes tends to make an ass of just me. That is what it is. Mike, how you doing, friend? How are things?
I'm pretty good. I watched so much wrestling yesterday. I watched Action Futures yesterday, and then I took a nice long nap, and then I woke up, and I watched IWS Live at 8. As soon as that was over, I flipped over. I watched the rest of Triple Mania. As soon as that was over, I had some time to kill. I hopped onto Wrestle Universe and I watched a little bit of DDT, like some DDT VODs on there. But then I watched the G1 live last night. And then because I took that big old nap in the middle of the afternoon right after Action Futures, I couldn't sleep. So I stayed up till about 6:30 Eastern this morning watching the replay of Collision and Rampage that I didn't watch live because I was too busy watching independent wrestling.
Get some sleep after this, brother.
No, absolutely.
Lots of love to you, and thank you for being here. But get some honk shoes, as I suppose they say.
I have 2 days of the Scenic City Invitational from Chattanooga, Tennessee to catch up on now.
Well, Be that as it may. See, now I feel freaking lazy, and I was pretty proud of my productive ass morning here. I got a lot done around the house. The dogs walked. Everything's sort of taken care of. But screw me, right? How you doing, Blair? No, I'm just gonna move on. I'm just lazy. So at least let me host.
I laid in bed and used my eyes. You did stuff.
Okay, well, we'll call it even. Pluggo, thank you so much. Handsome on the screen. I agree. Lots of handsome in the chat as well too. Blair, how you doing?
I'm good.
What were you watching last night?
Oh, I watched IWS, and then I was a little too high, and then we watched TV, and then went to bed, and that was my night, and I'm okay with that. I watched some TikToks, and just kept it real. I caught up on Collision this morning after the gym, so that was nice.
And boy,
and Lawrence,
last night.
Yeah.
Lawrence, you had the fine privilege of going live to IWS. I think that's where we're going to kick it off anyways. So feel free to go at, how are you first and foremost? Let's not skip the pleasantries here, but then how was IWS live, man? Because we all watched it on pay-per-view. Congratulations, of course, to the IWS, but how was it to be there, man?
First off, so much fun. That whole day, I went to Comic-Con in the morning, had a great time there. Then literally had an hour in between, went to IWS, met up with Zach, and there was so much fun stuff there that night. Having Ben back, having another friend of the channel, Matt Viviani, return from injury, and continually fuck on Green Phantom. And Phantom returned the favorite. It was a great crowd. It was a lot of fun to be there, to be back, and of course seeing Ben, who is rocking a Love Wrestling shirt after the show.
I saw looking just handsome, and it's one of those things where you sometimes wonder what are they going to do next? How can they possibly be more handsome? You just throw on a nice little Love Wrestling shirt, you're good to go. If you want one of your own, head to lovewrestling.ca/shop. We've got limited inventory available, and the more you buy, the more new stuff we can get. That's just that's capitalism, friends. There we go. Socioeconomics here on Love Wrestling's Brunch Gimmick. We're already off the rails. You met Trish Stratus yesterday as well too?
Oh yeah, and straight up very delightful and funny. Legitimately took a decent amount of time, even though it was a bit of a long line with everyone, and Kurt Angle's line was right next to her, and he showed up because of the flights super late, literally got off the plane, was pretty much there, and his line was massive.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous. But yeah, it was a super fun time. Very, very kind, very much living up to her legend status.
I don't disagree one bit. Also, there's a nice little endorsement for the Love Wrestling merch. Also very soft and makes you look extra jacked. Ben, you were looking very jacked. You want to hop on? Shoot me a message. I can send you the little link here if you want to hop on and give us a little IWS chat. You're always welcome. You're among friends here at Boston Pizza.
Does that by default also work if you don't look in any way, shape, or form jack? The Love Wrestling shirt.
Yeah, it takes you up a level.
I get when
you're playing video games and you get a new piece of armor. I don't know. I only really play Pokemon, and there's not really a good comparison there.
I get +10 to shredded.
Takes you from a great ball to an ultra ball. I don't.
Got it.
I don't know.
+10 shredded.
It's fashion HGH.
Yeah.
There we go. It's fashion. It's fashion steroids.
Literally, the Love Wrestling shirt is banned in the Olympics.
It's true. You aren't allowed to wear it.
Whoa.
Yeah,
it's like those.
There's a whole controversy. Lance Armstrong wore it once. It was all mess.
Love Wrestling shirts and Oscar Pistorius, two things you won't ever see in the Olympics.
Love Wrestling has heat with the World Anti-Doping Association.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Come on.
So yeah, they were
tell me when I'm telling lies.
Oh, fuck.
Bebe, no, Love Wrestling is not on Pro Wrestling Tees, and admittedly, the biggest reason that we're not on there is as Canadians, Pro Wrestling Tees, they've got good quality shirts. I appreciate their product, but they're not exactly the best solution for Canadian merchandise. shipping from Pro Wrestling Tees to Canada is sometimes double to triple the price of the shirt itself. So like, it's not admittedly the best solution for us, but if there's enough demand for it, I'm happy to reach out. Let me know. That works for you. Absolutely wrecked right now from the drive home and 2 hours sleep. Yes, Ben, hop in my DMs, slide in my DMs, I suppose is the kids are saying. Or my threads. I don't know what the hell people are using for social media nowadays. DM me on
his DMs.
Do whatever. I don't know. I'd Power Ranger my DMs according to Ricky Starks. That was a weird. We're gonna jump around a lot. Yeah. I know we're gonna talk. Let's get back to IWS here shortly. But like, Ricky Starks just sort of like sprinting past fully gimmick Jushin Thunder Liger and calling him a Power Ranger. Outstanding. I at least hope that Jushin Thunder Liger knew that was going to happen, because otherwise that's the meanest thing I've ever seen. Otherwise, it's the funniest thing I've ever seen. Yes, poke me on MySpace. Thanks, Ben. We'll talk Collision in a bit. IWS, Lawrence, you've given your thought. Give us your match of the night. I'm going to put you on the spot here before we sort of move on to the pay-per-view. The pay-per-viewers. There we go. That's a portmanteau.
Yeah.
I read that word recently, so I'm trying to use it more often.
Yeah, I think probably the match of the night with like the crowd really, really got into it was the ladder war with DDT, Fresh Air, who like, if you're not on the Junior Benito train now, like get on it. Like that kid is going to be a star, and then we're like super talented. Marcus Mathers, I think from GCW. Like it was like the perfect grouping of tag teams to do this with, and they all went all out. It was so much fun, like throughout the whole card. There's also like another standout, which like I think this was their second IWS show, was the Dynasty, who did the pre-show in a tag match. Like they are also aligned with Sway Archer, and great tag team. Like I've got to find their names, but they both work so well together. And one of the tag members there is so damn funny throughout the whole match, just talking shit and won't stop. The second he tags in the big, like his bigger things, like, oh, you fucked up now, dude, so good. But yes,
however, I will say, if you could declare a table a winner, like those things had
don't break.
No mercy last night. Absolutely no mercy last night as far as the tables went with the IWS. Like all they needed to do was fall on top of somebody at some point, and those would have picked up a 1, 2, 3 man. Like I can only imagine here. But like, and weird logic, but like I'd have to assume like a table breaking under you is a lot less painful than just landing on a plank of wood.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Call me crazy.
Those were like a degree under the Japanese tables. Like it's weird that IWS actually bought quality tables. Like they were planning on reusing them.
Guys, we've got dinner backstage after this, and we have 3 tables.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm so used to seeing doors that when I see tables at an indie show, I'm like, oh my god, this
really
is
they're going all out.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, damn, they sprung for tables with legs here.
Yeah.
Not doors with chairs.
See, that's where they get you, is the metal legs. Is like it's not necessarily the wood that's expensive. It's
my
the
tweet,
folding
Ben.
legs.
That was me.
Got a fan in the chat. What a great show, man. I couldn't agree more. That ladder war was an absolute freaking blast. Main event. I cannot say enough as far as it goes about Manny and Lufisto. Like, Bussy, and rightfully so, don't get me wrong, like they get their flowers, but you see them in a lot of these sorts of matches all the time. Not as though Manny and Lou aren't, but like, I don't know. I maybe just don't get the chance or don't take the opportunity, frankly, to watch them as often as I maybe should. And goddamn, I just lots of love for it. Lots of love for that match last night. Very, very happy that Lou and PCP crazy fucking Manny picked up the win.
And
Manny's nuts.
Yeah, legitimately. Allie took her like pretty hard bump at the end, like I was talking after, like you heard it, or her like back and like butt hit the stage when like Manny suplexed her, like right at the end of the match. Like that was like a loud boom thump.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, like PCP Manny and Lufisto, who like only recently started doing deathmatch stuff again.
Yeah.
Absolutely killed it. Like Lufisto the night before too at GCW had a great match with Utani.
Yeah, I think it was even Alley
Yeah.
Catch that had tweeted that out.
Yeah.
Just like how you do those two matches back to back, like Lou fucking rocks.
Yeah.
What else can you say? To be honest with you, I got a lot of love for Lufisto.
Yeah,
A lot of love for Lufisto. Ben, got a match of the night? Got a moment of the night? Got anything that sticks out for you?
Ben.
But you said
Oh,
Ben.
Blair. Sorry. I'm
like Ben Ortman's isn't here. He can't talk to you.
well, and you know what? I would have to assume his match was probably his highlight.
Yeah.
So useless question, regardless of my poor speaking abilities.
I love the ladder
Don't
match.
talk good, okay?
The ladder match, like Lawrence already brought up, that was great. That was a lot of fun. Fresh Air was incredible. Wasted Youth. I thought Chris Dara had a hell of a performance last night in that tag team championship match. She looked incredible. And I mean, the main event was great. Like all around, I thought it was just a great show from top to bottom. Like I find lots of times there will usually be a match or two where you kind of disconnect yourself from it and you might find yourself doing something else. But IWS brought it last night with just a great card all around.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Mike from Indeed. See, I got the full name. There we go. I made sure. I made sure I didn't screw that one up. Okay.
Yeah. Look, there's too many mics. I had to, you know. And
Michael?
Lord knows I'm not. Lord knows I'm no. Oh, I'm not. Am I in trouble?
Michael from Indeed.
Oh no. Yeah.
Your
Oh,
full
no.
legal name.
No, not the full name. You can't hit me with the Govey. Come on. Yeah, no. So, loved the IWS show. It was great. Like, had a good vibe all night. It was an IWS show. They got to show the world that IWS style, the rowdy Montreal crowd, the loud rock music, the stage production. Like, they actually have video packages on an independent show, which is wild. And like entrance video, which is, that's like a 5% of all of those thing, really. Great to see that. For me, match of the night, Maki Ito and Vanessa Craven is the one that hasn't been mentioned yet. That between that or the Canadian title scramble, it's like those ones are right up there as the ones we haven't talked about already. But I like the size mismatch of like Maki Ito and Vanessa Craven. Obviously, the Mountain, it's like the Mountain in Game of Thrones and like a regular size like villager. It's cool because like Maki Ito is like shorter than all, or like smaller than most of her opponents anyway. So she has this really cool style of like chopping people down and wearing them down. And then Vanessa Craven is just a unique special wrestler, like so big, talented, strong. I tweeted last night that like people like with her combined skill set just don't grow on trees.
No, I don't disagree, man. And like, it's nice to see her back. I don't know why, but it's been about a year that she's been back in like even a consistent manner, right? Like, again, it's just nice when you got good people and talented wrestlers back in pro wrestling, and good to see Vanessa Craven back at it. Sandy, good to see you in the chat. Hello from Germany. I can't even begin to imagine what time it is for you, but good evening at the very least, I will assume. Sorry, Mike, didn't mean to cut you off.
I was gonna say I did want to give because Ben has been in the chat, but he plastered Sway with an overhand chop and a dirty Liger bomb yesterday, and
those kicks
have to acknowledge him there for that.
Those when they're outside on the airing apron and they're trading chops and kicks, was just stiff as hell. Like, I think he even turned his face like, "I love you, brother," and then gave him one more fucking good kick to the chest, like clean.
I noticed when I went to Crossbody last week, so I saw Ben wrestle like very up close, and I love his in-ring banter with his opponent as he's just mercilessly smacking the crap out of them. It's very entertaining.
Yeah,
guy's a stud.
And one nice thing was actually like completely random thing. Ben's friend, I think his name's Freeman, was like, we randomly made friends with him in line, like marker with, just like started talking to this guy in front of us. It's like, oh yeah, I'm friends with Ben. I'm actually driving him home, and he's got like the Crossbody Pro Wrestling shirt. I'm like, small world that we just like happened to be right in front of, and he ended up sitting with us during the show. The like Ben Ortman's friend there, but also a nice touch that I liked with the Makito match was the fact that like I love her stuff she's doing with Nick Cage right now, but I was so happy they brought back her old entrance music, like a regular, and doing the full performance on the way out just makes me so damn happy. Like, like one of the better entrances. Like one of my favorite like hilarious AEW things was her doing the full entrance while like just chaos was happening all around her. And, like everyone's fighting everywhere, and she just demands to get everything in, like every last step.
Maki rocks.
Yeah, it's on par when the Hardys do like a save, but they do the entrance dance at the top of the stage before running all the way down.
Was it NXT as well too, where like Rhea Ripley came out for the save and did like the full stomp and all of that before she ran in? Like, how concerned can you be about your friend? I gotta save her, but I gotta look really neat doing it. Hi, Rue. Good to see you. Oh, nope. I shouldn't have said anything. Got any thoughts on IWS? Hi.
Rip loved the Jordan Oliver match. I can guarantee.
He was a big fan of the Jordan Oliver match. He also enjoyed, though, after the show when I went back to the computer for Collision, and I got to turn back on his Birds and Squirrels TV, which we sort of just throw on so that he just chills out. He had a very big day yesterday, actually. We went for a very long WALK that he was pretty horrible on. And then we went and got his nails clipped that he was pretty horrible with. And then we took a big long walk back that he was pretty awful at. But you're learning, aren't you? Now, can you get off? This is very uncomfortable for me. Rue, go get a... Can you do something other than this? Dude, you're on the cable. That's the hardest part of all of this. Okay, say goodbye. There you go. Yeah. Thank you. Saw something outside.
Yeah.
He is a wise old man at only a year and a half old. He's a wise old man. Anyways, speaking of, any other thoughts on IWS? Anything else you guys want to touch on? Because I do want to chat on Collision, and I do want to speak to that a little bit. And then a couple of things from Slammiversary that I found of interest. And then some wrestling. Rip, jeez Louise.
Oh my god.
Pulling the microphone cables out. This is just gone.
Spencer's getting bullied by a dog.
I am getting bullied by a dog. And the worst part, like I think he's teenage dog now by this point, because like what's a year and a half, about 7 years per dog year, so he's like 10 to 11 years old. And 10 to 11-year-olds tend to be my biggest bullies. Like, they don't really care what they say to you, really. Like, at least once you hit sort of your mid-20s, like, you try and get clever with things. There's like a 10 to 11-year-old who's just like, you've got a big nose. And I'll be like, damn. I never thought about that until today. But you're kind of right. You know? I'll see you guys later.
How familiar are you all with the movie Step Brothers?
Very.
Yes.
Very familiar.
I'm just like picturing Spencer getting like chased down by a gaggle of kids that are like trying to make him lick the white dog shit.
Oh no! Like, see, at that point, sticks and stones will break my bones, but like words will never hurt me, right? But if they ever try and like make me eat something I don't want to eat, like there's a roundhouse kick coming. Lots of love, but you can only take so much. Like
I agree.
That's probably my line is eating poop.
Yeah.
I can promise you, I'm swinging before it comes to that. Before that, like, make fun of me, whatever. I've dealt with worse. I have 3 younger brothers that are all very smart, so like they can tear me down psychologically. I put up with the worst I think I can put up with.
No, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I would also roundhouse kick a 10-year-old if they tried to feed me poop.
Thank you. I'm glad.
I love wrestling. We'll beat up kids.
I'm glad he added.
Oh, that's not true.
I'm glad Mike added if they tried to make me eat poop and not just I'd roundhouse kick a 10-year-old.
Oh yeah, again, we want to make things very, very clear. We do not support any of this until it comes to the forcing of eating any sort of poop in a situation seen in the hit feature film Step Brothers.
Yeah.
Starring Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly.
Mm-hmm. It's a good movie.
Yeah. There we go. There's our disclaimer.
Yeah,
Thank you for sticking around. Let's talk about Collision, because lots happened, including one of my early contenders. Well, not even early. It's July. We're more than halfway through the year. Mm-hmm. One of my late contenders for match of the year in that Bullet Club Gold FTR match. What a damn blast that was. If you guys haven't had the opportunity yet, it is something I suggest you watch. Good hour went into it, and worth every proverbial dollar. If you pay for cable, this was worth your bill this month, because I try and justify why I pay for cable every month.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
What a blast, though! Yeah. What an absolute blast! And yeah, what else can you say, man? Just you need to check this one out. I would very, very heavily consider this one of my matches of the year. If not the match of the year thus far. It's
a testament when you can do an hour-long match like that on TV and still have the crowd that engaged throughout. Like, so all 4 of those guys, I mean, it's a huge props to them, because, I mean, there's a lot of matches where they can't even go 10 minutes and the crowd is disinterested. Not them, but, you know, just in general. So, I mean, I think that says something, especially in this day and age.
It's times like these I wish that Dax still had his podcast. Hearing him talk about this match would be worth listening to 20 minutes of tequila chat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like the tequila chat.
I really like Dax's podcast, but if there was one portion that I would not want as part of a revised Dax podcast, it would be the portion in which he tastes tequila. And I don't know, maybe if you watch the video, it's got a little bit more oomph to it. Yeah. But personally, as a strictly audio listener to that podcast, the last thing I need to do is listen to someone drink tequila. Like, yeah. And lots of love. There's my one little small bugaboo in this entire match. That's my only problem with
they stopped randomly in the middle to taste the tequila. Weird that he did this during the match.
No, it's genuinely it's so hard to argue that FTR isn't the best tag team in the world right now, and it comes down to them every couple of years. It's FTR or the Usos, and by no means is that any disrespect to anyone else, but like, who else can you argue? Sammy and Kevin are probably my favorite, but like, just look at the bodies of work. I mean, what else can you say? This was an incredible match. I'll even go 2 thumbs up. Yeah. See? Mm-hmm. This is how serious I am with my endorsement of this match. I stopped drinking coffee to do this. And I think that says something to y'all.
No, I mean, there was the one spot where they went for the powerplex, and the Bullet Club countered that and did it like their own maneuver, and I thought that was very 2 thumbs up there. I loved it. I thought as a whole, Collision was pretty solid. Nice to see Artemis and Randy Myers there as well. So that was a nice little treat. And then, I mean, I think the one thing I have to change about Collision is not reading the spoilers and just watching it the next day, because like knowing who won the match, the 2 out of 3 falls match, kind of took a little bit out of it for me, but it was still a great match.
Fair enough. Completely fair. Yeah, I'm always happy to see Love Pro Wrestling talent, good Canadian talent, good Defy talent, good whatever talent. Mm-hmm. Hopping on. It's a good thing. Mike, your thoughts. Lawrence, have you had a chance to watch any of it? Are we ruining this entire show for you?
Like I haven't watched it, but I already knew what happened beforehand.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I can't believe Monty Brown came back.
Yeah.
I wish.
And randomly
He
tagged with
he
the
is my
kiss
dream
demon.
return, man.
And tagged with the kiss demon. Can't believe that happened.
Oh man.
I honestly don't think I have popped
All-timer.
in years like I popped when the Kiss Demon Dale Torborg returned for that battle royal. Was it Slammiversary a couple of years ago? Year
Yeah.
ago?
Yeah.
My God, I lost it. I absolutely lost it.
Oh,
Dream booking. Dale Torborg,
Look,
if
that
for some
was-
reason you're watching this, please hop into my email inbox. I would love to have you on in Alberta.
I knew when I was watching that, I was like, all right, it's the Kiss Demon, and I'm laughing because like I was WCW kid in the 90s and 2000s or 2000.
My jaw was dropped far too
But-
much for me to be able to
But
cheer or laugh.
But I was like, there's somebody out there who like is actually legit so stoked about this, and I've met that person.
Yeah,
It's
Gene
awesome.
Simmons. Do you know how much
Yeah.
they probably had to pay him in royalties?
Yeah. He
Gene
he
Simmons-
gets money off of like any time we should even be saying Kiss Demon out loud. We probably like owe him money for
Yeah,
it.
we've said it like 4 times. Gene's gonna be hopping into our old inbox, and
Yeah.
I met Gene
Yeah.
Simmons once, not at any sort of like music related event, but I got to meet him at a Wine and Beyond in Edmonton, Alberta. He was doing he was selling his new vodka, which I shit you not is called Moneybags Vodka. I waited in line for 3 hours, and he did not look up from the bottle. Signed, handed, signed, handed. He wouldn't let you bring your own merch. And that being said, I still love me some Kiss. Oh, I love me some Kiss. So I'll be seeing Kiss on November 10th in Edmonton, Alberta. And if there's a meet and greet package, I am going to be asking, how long do you get? Rather than just
Will
getting
they-
in line.
Will they look at you?
If you guys go through my Instagram, follow me at Spenny and the Jets. There you go. See, nice little plug. You can see my photo with Gene Simmons where I am standing proudly and he is turning to hand me a bottle of liquor. It's my favorite photo of all time. But yes, going back to Collision, I don't want to talk about Slammiversary yet because no one else has watched it, and there's only a couple things I want to touch on there. What did everybody think, if you've had the opportunity, of the Punk Starks? I guess everything, because not just the match itself, but like, if they're turning Ricky Starks heel out of this, and with the Jushin Liger thing, and with the holding the rope to win thing, I'm a little nervous they're going to make a real wrong call here and turn Ricky Starks heel and keep CM Punk as a face, getting all of those little... I don't know. It's just a weird little gut feeling I've got here, and I don't really have much to expand on other than like the match last night. But like, is it just me?
No, I think it's a bad choice if they're turning Ricky heel. I think they've really got something with him as a face, and I don't want to see him go that way. Like, we've done this before. I swear they teased it like they did the same thing months back, or last year. Like, let's do why? I'm just tired of it. I don't want
Ricky.
it,
No, Ricky's so goddamn good at what he does too.
Yeah.
This, and we talked about it last week. This is just gonna be that whole Powerhouse Hobbs thing and the loss there. They really took a lot of momentum away, and I think it's got him maybe second guessing the way they were going with him. I don't know. And I'm talking about a guy who just like won the Owen Hart Cup, right?
Yeah.
But like, it'd be such a backwards decision if he was to be the guy who turned heel coming out of this.
Yeah, especially if you're like having him against CM Punk. Like in most places, they're just both going to be like weird like tweeners because like the crowd is usually, depending where it is, like outside of Chicago, is mostly against Punk. So despite like them trying to make Ricky Starks a heel, he's probably still going to get cheered in a lot of places.
It's gonna be like EC3 and Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
And that's the first time that's been brought up in a
Yeah.
podcast since like 2017.
Yeah.
Hey, JPJ, thank you for the super chat, you stud. They're missing out on an opportunity to be the baby face of Collision. Should have been the start of a Punk heel turn. And maybe it still is. But I didn't really see much coming out of that last night. You know, even with Battle at the Belts, they didn't really like start a new show, for lack of a better way to put it. It just sort of continued out of what happened on Collision. And it's not as though Punk was like kicking and screaming or anything like that. Punk was up front there and shaking hands with David Benoit and sort of just looking incredulous that this win got stolen from him. And, you know, again, I maybe I'm making a big deal out of a small thing, but like, he called Jushin Thunder Liger a Power Ranger. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong here, anybody, but like, this is the first time Liger's shown up like full gear since like he retired.
Yeah.
And like in Calgary, as one of Owen Hart's like most famous opponents, and he gets called a goddamn Power Ranger by a guy who just held the ropes to win. What else can you do but make like old man getting out of chair noises?
I don't know. Like he looks like a Gundam, first of all, not a Power Ranger. Second of all,
thank you. There's my complaint.
Second of all, no, I hope it's like I hope it's a just poorly planned bait and switch, and it actually ends up being a Punk heel turn still, and Ricky Starks is like, no, I'm cool. Don't know how you do it, but like, I
don't know either. And
it's a
especially
weird
like
choice.
if they're doing this whole CM FTR run, like it's not as though FTR didn't just get walked out on extending a handshake either. So you're gonna run them as faces and Punk as a heel, or are you gonna separate them out after how freaking closely aligned they've been through the existence of Collision so far? I don't know. It was odd. And you cannot say that like, well, we didn't expect Punk to get booed, because that would just be ridiculous. Like no one and I love CM Punk. AEW is better with CM Punk than without CM Punk.
Yeah. I fully believe.
But thinking he wasn't going to get booed coming back after all of this, like we talked about this on Brunch before the Canadian tour started. Canadians like people who don't punch Kenny Omega in the face.
I think after Regina last week where he got cheered, I think he thought he was going to get cheered in Calgary, especially with his love for the Hitman. In my head, I fully believe Punk thought he was going to be.
That is the first time that Pink and Black has been booed in Calgary since like 1964.
They let him have it, and I mean
they really let him have it. Like that was not, you know, even the first show Punk came back, or the second, I suppose. First was Chicago. Like it was a little more 50-50. Like it's gotten worse, with the exception, like you say, with Regina.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, Regina. So.
Hey,
Saskatchewan.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare. We aren't. Don't start on Saskatchewan here. Oh, I will be peeved.
Okay.
And you can tell I'm serious because I went out of my way to think of a word that I don't often use. I don't know. It's just to me.
Saskatchewan so protected. I have to know
because I got a lot of family in Saskatchewan. I got a lot of time for Saskatchewan. Bigger Saskatchewan, friends. New York is big, but this is bigger.
It's a nice place. It's
a great place. It's a great place. Anytime you can walk to everywhere in town on one road, I got a lot of time for it.
The one Saskatchewan road. We're going to get to 2 one day.
Hey, we might. Who knows? Anything can happen.
Just see clear across the province.
Yeah.
And again, that's not a bad problem to have. Look, if a bear was to attack me in the Rocky Mountains, you wouldn't see it until the last second. Bear attacks you in Saskatchewan, you got time to pack the house up. You got time to collect your valuables because you see that thing from kilometers away.
Speaking of bears, I watched Cocaine Bear last week.
Oh my god!
Yo,
We've got to talk. How much did you enjoy it?
Oh, it was incredible.
Yeah.
Isn't it great? Isn't it
Top
nice
notch.
that Ray Liotta's last scene, God rest his soul, Ray Liotta's last scene in a movie ever was being eaten, spoiler,
Yeah.
being eaten by a bear on a waterfall?
Yeah.
That's how I
Incredible.
want to go out.
Even
being
At
like-
least, at least in film.
being
I personally do
disemboweled
not
by
want to
bear
go out
cubs.
being eaten by a bear. Technically, he was disemboweled by the mama bear, and then the bear cub sort of came in and.
Yeah, they just kind of started playing with everything.
Yeah. Again, apologies if we're spoiling the ending of Cocaine Bear for anybody here.
But it's been out for like
months.
yeah.
It's been
For what it's
been
worth.
out for, yeah.
For what it's worth, people spoiled Across the Spider-Verse for me, and that's been out for a far shorter time than Cocaine Bear. So
The
think
amount
we're
of
fine.
laughter that I had the first time the bear mauled someone was incredible.
Yeah.
I was
I
like,
love those shitty
Oh.
little D movies, E movies, F movies. Like I've got so much time for them.
oh,
I
that's
love
great.
me just like some gory, campy violence. Like same thing
The-
with horror movies. I'm not a big like horror movie guy by any means, but I love me just like some real camp, you know.
The,
Yeah.
And that's
the,
all right up my alley.
the little boy in that movie is fucking fantastic.
What
He's
was the
so
name?
funny.
And this is like the fourth time we talked. Wasn't there like a raccoon one? Ophelia, if you're still in the chat, there was one that came out with a raccoon recently. I think it was literally called like the Crackoon.
Raccoon? No way.
And that
No.
sounds sarcastic, but I am positive that there was like not a sequel, but like a Sharknado or I
I'm-
don't know, whatever.
Look, if they start making like a trend of
They should.
predatory animals like being high on drugs is the new horror trend.
Yeah, see,
I'm
Raccoon.
okay to get
Yep,
on board with
Raccoon.
this. Oh my god. Well, I was
Thank you,
gonna take a
Ophelia.
nap after brunch, but I guess not. I'm gonna go watch that.
I am actually going to be cleaning the rest of my house and going for a walk with the old pup again because it is referee Stuart Garfield's birthday. So we're going to go play some pool, I think. I'm going to go
Nice.
beat him at some pool, I should say.
That
Pretty
sounds like a
okay
nice
pool
birthday
player.
gift.
I think so. I think so. Proving my dominance is my gift to him. at least as far as the game of pool goes.
And hustling them for thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It'll be like that scene in The Fresh Prince. Get me, Lucille.
Yeah.
Jeffrey, get me, Lucille. Oh, if only I had a friend named Jeffrey. Let's get going here before we move on to Jody Threat versus Nicole Matthews. Huge shout out to Josh Alexander making his return last night at Slammiversary. Him and Alex Shelley is going to be an absolute hoot again. Real excited on that end of things. And I don't know if he's signed or not, but very, very cool to see Jake Something also make his return last night in the Ultimate X match. He's just a stud.
Yeah.
I really don't have another way to put it. He's a guy that I've got a lot of time for as a pro wrestler. Really not sure why he initially left in the first place, but glad to see him back. Real excited on that end of things. And then huge shout out to Trinity winning the Knockouts Championship last night.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that Deonna Purrazzo would have another banger? Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Who? What I'm going to do, I'm sorry, I don't know if this video file starts with any sort of music, so I'm sorry if I blow anybody's ears out here. It is what it is. Maybe it does, but maybe it doesn't. Ah, it does. Oh, that's Norel. I like this song. However, there we go. Volume. I can't multitask. I'm so bad at it, and I don't know why I continue to try. This was from LPW 6 last July 2022 to be exact. This was the second time that Nicole and Jody ever faced off. The first time they wrestled was, I believe it was 2 or 3 weeks prior to this match for WrestleCore out in BC. Another promotion that if you've got the chance, we highly suggest you check out, especially next month, because on August 5th and 6th, not only myself, but a number of the LPW roster members are going to be heading out to make our WrestleCore debuts, in addition to going out there with the Clandestine Society, who's out there fairly often. Amir Jordan, I believe, is going to be out there for those shows as well, too. So if you've got the chance, check them out. Well, then, now, forever. Don't quote us on that. Here we are from LBW 6. Jody Threat versus Nicole Matthews. Come on. There we go. Again, a huge shout out to Zach. This was from Welcome to Paradise, based on the, I believe, the second album. Was it Green Day's second album?
Welcome to Paradise?
Nimrod was the album.
Yeah, that was like their... Oh. Wasn't that their...
From the Green Day album.
Yeah, that was their fifth or sixth one.
No, Nimrod was the one immediately after Dookie.
Yeah.
I was going to say Nimrod was like 1990.
No, Nimrod was like 98.
Yeah, they had Dookie and then the one with Brain Stew Jaded right after.
Kerplunk?
Kerplunk was right before Dookie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then there was Warning after both.
There was one after Dookie.
Nimrod.
Was it Nimrod?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's the one that had like Basket Case and not Basket Case.
Brain Stew and Jaded.
Hitching a Ride and
No, Hitching a Ride was Dookie.
No, Insomniac was after Dookie. Then Nimrod.
Really? Oh, okay. I forgot.
Anyway, it's from the Green Day album.
Then
God
American.
No, let's just talk about Nickelback. This is the Canadian show.
Oh, I love Nickelback.
Hannah Alberta's finest.
Oh, such a guilty pleasure.
I never understood the concept of guilty pleasures for music. I just like them.
So guilty pleasure to me is like something I wouldn't want my friends to catch me listening to and enjoying, but I'm totally comfortable like listening to and enjoying in the comfort of my own home.
Yeah, in that sense, and they're more than a guilty pleasure for me. I love Nickelback.
See, but like, like I don't know, because for me now, there's no music like that. Of like, I just unashamedly like everything anyway. I think guilty pleasure is more of like a younger thing when you're concerned with how other people will think of your taste, to like treat you based on your tastes and stuff.
I love good music. I love music, you know. Give me some Creed, give me some Ellie Goulding, Taylor Swift. I'll listen to it all.
Creed changed all of their profile pictures on their Facebook page last week to what looks to be a new logo.
Speaking of Brady, Warren is poised and ready to ring that bell.
Which is exciting as hell.
Hell yeah.
This was also Jody Threat's debut for Love Pro Wrestling.
I have no idea what you're saying, but I hope that you are enjoying spending
Nicole Matthews, like, man, just again a good problem. She's been a staple of Love Pro since our start, and the only reason she's not making it out to shows over the last little bit is because she's booked and busy, which is a hell of a problem to have, man. It's so cool.
Yeah.
You see people like her, you see people like Artie, you see people like Speedball even a couple of years ago who, when they really start to make their way back into the States and start to get, like, let's be honest, in the nicest way to Canadian wrestling, the much bigger platform that American wrestling provides, always go down there, always tear it up, always get over. Excited as all hell, man. Matthews just rocks.
That's like been the hardest thing with doing Indeed, is trying to find a balance between talking about the Canadian stuff that I want to talk about and knowing that like so many of the people that watch Indeed are based in the US and watching like the American scene and don't know much about the Canadian scene.
Yeah.
So it's like sprinkling in these like introductions to Canadian wrestlers, but then also like spending another 3 weeks of being like, here's a bunch of American people you already know and are familiar with. Please continue to watch.
Yeah.
Well, like you say, like it's a bit of a learning procedure for a lot of people, because there are times that I tune in and learn about new promotions too. Like, there's just so much great wrestling out there. I know that's so frickin' blanket to say, but that's what I love about it. There's always something new and excellent out there.
There were like five or six live shows on yesterday.
Right?
And that's
like, yesterday I just tweeted out that was a hell of a match, and you could argue that for about a half dozen matches from last night alone, just across different promotions.
I was just gonna say, like, you could reply with that with which one and get like 7 different answers.
And that was the thing, because everyone was watching something different, and chances are it was a hell of a match.
Yeah.
Joel from Fightful tweeted out yesterday, like, I assume all these people talking about great tag team wrestling are talking about, and he mentioned like this Slammiversary match. And I was like, no, Ladder War at IWS is on right now. And then I didn't even think about the fact that FTR versus Bullet Club Gold was also happening at the exact same time. So it's like, which one? It's just all three of those matches are like the Spider-Man meme of like,
Yeah.
And there was AAA last night too, which I haven't gotten around to watching.
Do you want a spoiler that you're just like actually not gonna believe? Well, I'm sure you've seen the tweet, but QT Marshall defeats Pentagon Jr. in an ambulance match.
I saw the
can't
picture.
wait to watch it.
I saw QT Marshall hit him with a light tube.
Lawrence, that's Marshall. Thank you.
Marcellus. QT Marcellus.
How much AAA do you normally watch?
Well, not often.
No.
I watch when everybody dresses up as superheroes for those traditional matches at
So the
Triplemania.
pre-show match.
Yes, I've watched when Spider-Man made his debut.
The pre-show match for Triple Mania only. Got it.
Not a ton live. If there's a match that's recommended, I'll tune in. But like
my takeaway,
very rarely.
My takeaway from last night, I didn't watch like maybe the first, I don't know, 3 or 4 matches, but like didn't see anything woohoo crazy about them. But the ambulance match was good, and like Vikingo and Omega was obviously really good.
Hold on.
What?
Omega and Vikingo was a good match.
Yeah, it was actually good. Yeah, I couldn't believe it, man.
No.
Way.
Honestly, I know. I was expecting. Yeah, I didn't know what. You know, I thought we were gonna get a quick little, a quick little walk and talk around the outside, and then some shenanigans, and that was gonna be it. I wasn't prepared for the ridiculous
high quality.
Yeah, just the high quality lucha libre, and I lost my train of thought because Jody Threat's dead.
Yeah.
I will never understand. Like, that's just one of those things that cannot be easy or fun or like, and nothing in wrestling is. But like, just getting thrown off the top rope. I think that's one of my favorite things about Nicole Matthews is like, man, she can tie you up in knots. She's an incredible pro wrestler, but like, most of the time, she just gets in there and beats the hell out of you.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
She's got a match on ROH this week as well, so that'll be a nice little
Really?
treat.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, yes. That's sick. Where'd you find that out? I guess they would have aired last night. That's right.
Yeah, and I read the taping results for it.
Oh, I forgot that those would probably exist, what with the taping having happened.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil who it's with, but I'm looking forward to it.
Whoa!
I'm gonna have to go look this up for myself now because
I will also be doing so.
And there's an ROH pay-per-view this week too, with like 3 matches announced for it.
Well, that's 3 more than I thought were announced for it.
Yeah.
It was 3 matches announced, and then it was Mark Briscoe's injured. So
So we're back down to 2 matches announced. All right.
Oh,
I think the
last
2
night Ian Riccaboni did such a great job with Collision. Like, I love him on that broadcast. I wish he was there full time.
Well, good news, and again, shout out to Fightful Select on this end of things. Always worth at least your $5 a month. Ian Riccaboni has apparently signed with Ring of Honor / AEW. So I don't know if there's like any confirmed role or if they've like determined exactly where he's going to be and how often, but hell yeah, because he is, like, in my opinion, undisputably one of the best commentators out there.
I like Riccaboni on Collision way more than Kevin Kelly, and like no knock to Kevin Kelly, because when he does know the wrestlers and the storylines and like is familiar with everything, it's like good. But those first couple weeks of Collision, like when he didn't know how to pronounce Andrade El Idolo's name, or like doing some of the calls at Forbidden Door, and like the fans are doing like the "You're a wrestler" chant for Daniel Garcia, and he assumes they're talking about Shibata. Like,
I got a lot of time for Kevin Kelly. Don't get me wrong, but like Riccaboni is just. I will always be biased when it comes to him because I've just always been a fan of his work. I really, really just always will be. I think. He's fantastic. Like Ring of Honor,
so good.
right? And Ring of Honor right before everything ended up shutting down, obviously, and before not the closure, but yeah, it was just the shutdown of it as brand. Like, man, they were on fire. I really, really enjoyed what they were doing. Maria Kanellis was doing such a great job with their women's division. It's a bit of a shame because like they were really building a lot of momentum, and then obviously came to a dead halt when pretty well pandemic kicked around because they got their few pay-per-views in and all of that in the middle of her, but
Jody Threat unable to really get
felt like it ended up being the farewell, right?
She came out a house of fire, but that fire doused by Nicole Matthews. Look at the look on the kisser of Nicole Matthews charging in with that kick.
Boof.
I think one of my favorite things about watching Nicole Matthews is just she's talking shit to everybody the entire time.
Repeated kicks.
Yeah.
I love that. I love it. It's something I like a lot about Tony Deppen, and it's something that like
Big
I see.
spear.
Yeah.
I think that was desperation, but it worked. Referee administering the 5 count. The fans of Jody Threat trying to rally her to her feet. The fits at 5, you can see favoring that rib area is Nicole Matthews. That might have
Forrest,
cracked
that's PWA Hall of Famer Mike the Fitzpatrick.
or otherwise damage the midsection.
It's a full name sort of thing. It's like Michael from Indeed.
Spencer's gonna make that a thing now.
I thought that was a very funny little tee-hee for me.
That was very good.
I got a good little tee-hee out of that one.
It's not the worst thing that I've been, it's not the worst thing I've been called.
Coming in off the knee with a neck breaker. Going for the cover. Is it going to be enough? Matthews out at 2. Threat looking to follow up. Up onto the firewoman's carry. Able to shift the weight backwards and lock on that sleeper. Threat carrying the weight of Nicole Matthews in that sleeper, and she's fading fast.
The legs as well. Nicole Matthews with those legs locked into that extra torque.
Yeah, tried to get 2 handfuls of hair, unsuccessful.
Fading very fast here.
Down onto the back. Matthews got to be careful to keep his shoulders off the mat. Rolling through, able to escape. Drop toe hold into that middle rope.
Yeah, you ain't wrong, JPJ. Big Bad Boris he's the man. Absolute man. And I will say, I really enjoyed, before all of this stuff was 7, I really enjoyed Thaddeus Archer on commentary as well, too. Because this was his first real time. Oh my god.
Nar.
Just hammers her, man.
God, I really enjoyed Speedball's match with Yoshihiko, where he just spammed Tiger Diver 91s onto the turnbuckle.
I love the fact that they just recreated, they created Omega Osprey 2 down like the Don Callis interference coming back out every single spot.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the super exaggerated Tiger Driver 91 that basically, like watching it, it's like, he's like, this is what you all sounded like actually happened in the match.
Yeah. The ketchup packets for both of them. That even Speedball used a ketchup packet to do blood.
Bro, watch it back though. The ref puts on gloves when the ketchup packets came out.
It's unbelievable the detail with it.
Perch is a god. Like, I watched the match twice. Like, so the night I watched it live, I went back and watched a replay of it immediately after because one of my friends missed it, and I was like, "You got to see this." And I showed him, but then someone tweeted about like you should go back and watch it again and watch it with like just watch Perch. So I did, and it's like he reffed it like it was 2 Like, it was people, both of them, and it was perfect. I loved it.
Just getting them back with Jody Threat's hand with his elbows.
That wrist. Rolling through into the submission, trying to grab that crossface, trying to get underneath.
My wife saw a clip of that match, and she's like, I don't know. I think I might draw the line at like wrestling the doll. She's like, I can't take it seriously. And but then I was like thinking about it. I'm like,
you don't need to take it seriously.
I'm like, you don't. But so I'm sure there's people that like it. It's not a thing that they can make the connection with. But I think it's actually like it got me thinking. Like the reason that Yoshihiko is so freaking cool and why it works is because of the full level of participation from everybody involved in the room, right down to the fans.
Her opponents take her seriously.
Well, her opponents take her seriously. The referee treats the match seriously, but everyone in the room watching the match also treats it with respect and seriousness, and like
it's like Invisible Man versus Invisible Stan is like
if nobody makes a beep,
or it could have been incredible.
If nobody in the room makes a sound, it's it's just stupid as fuck because nothing. You know what I mean? There's nothing.
But you can say that about any wrestling. If people weren't reacting to this, it's just two people not fighting. Bebe hopping in. Curious if you guys or the chat ever heard of pro wrestling going into Eastern Europe. I ran across Slavic, we'll call it, on YouTube today. Thought Germany was as far as it goes east. Can't say I'm familiar. I really can't say I'm familiar with anything out like. Really, a lot of European wrestling I can't say I'm all that familiar with. Nonetheless, anything out that far, but if there's anything good, I'm always in for match recommendations, man.
Miro had to get into it somewhere.
That's true.
She thought that was enough to get it done.
I think a lot of people thought that was enough.
Oh, Miro. Was he on any collisions in Canada?
He had a video package last?
Yeah, just a video package, I think.
I can't remember if he killed anyone in Hamilton or not. I didn't go to that taping.
I thought that he had one match on there. So
it might have been.
I thought it was just a squash.
Yeah, if he had anything, he just killed someone from Hamilton or something.
By hook or by crook, Nicole Matthews gonna get the win.
I'm gonna leave before the interrupters. DMCAS.
Yeah, I fought Anthony Henry on the third collision, so the Hamilton one.
Okay. Or Anthony Henry.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Much rather Miro be wrestling than not wrestling. Thank you, friends. That was Nicole Matthews and Jody Threat from LPW6. Of course, you can find it pretty well. I'm getting caught up. We've got about 4 or 5 matches I've still got to edit and or get commentated. You can find pretty well every match that Love Pro Wrestling has ever produced on this very here YouTube channel. If you want a little bit extra, you can find all our Love Pro Wrestling and Clandestine Wrestling Society shows. You can find some of our bot shows, anything that we did with the Sherwood Park Crusaders, anything in between at patreon.com/Love Wrestling CA. It's always appreciated when you support, but if you can give us a little bit extra and you want to give us a little bit extra, that is the best way to do so. All of that comes right back into us, goes right into the production costs, everything in between for the shows here. So thank you. However you choose to support. Next week, okay, we'll take a straw poll here. Next week we've got either Son of Irish versus T.Y. Jackson from Love Pro Wrestling 10, or the Billington Bulldogs versus the Short Kings from Love Pro Wrestling 9. What do we want?
Ooh. I'm going to throw my hat with the Bulldogs versus Short Kings.
Yeah, let's get a tag match.
So it shall be done. We got lots of great stuff coming up here over the next week in Love Wrestling. Zach, enjoy your day at the cabin. Happy birthday to your daughter. But that is why I don't have a graphic here. It just is what it is. I don't know, that shiny little, nice little thing. Zach's good at a lot of things, but one thing that he's great at that I am terrible at is graphics, so I didn't even attempt it. But we've got an interview coming up with Amir Jordan that JPJ did a great chat with, one of Alberta's finest, former NXT UK star as well. And if you head over to the Patreon end of things, we've got a cool little interview with Jasmine Allure coming out, courtesy of that handsome gentleman there. And that is where we're going to be starting. Blair, where can the people find you outside of Behind the Walls on the Patreon end of things? And when can they find upcoming interviews courtesy of the Grainmaker Wrestling Podcast?
Every Saturday, you can find me up on Love Wrestling doing 4 Exposure with my good friend Pluggo as we take a look at the world of independent wrestling. So it's usually Saturdays, sometimes Sundays, because work comes into play some days. So besides that, find me up on Twitter, Grainmaker Pod, up on Blue Sky, all the other social medias. And I got a nice episode I got episodes every week, but in 2 weeks' time, there's going to be one with the thickness, Reed Matthews. You're not going to want to miss out on that one. So just saying.
I'm very excited to listen to that one. I've got it downloaded here. That's why I was asking you this morning when it's coming out. I'm going to listen to it and then put it on the Patreon, but I'm going to listen to it.
Cool. Yeah.
And then I'm going to tweet out all the news. There we go.
Okay.
I'm going to be a scoopster. Lawrence, I'm sorry. I can't take myself seriously using that word. I would be bad at it. Lawrence, where can the people find you?
Thanks, El Scoopy McGee. You can find me at KartzyNDG on Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, I guess. People saw on Blue Sky, Threads. And catch me here every Sunday. And I was talking to Zach. We're either myself or him are going to try doing blowing off stream soon, because I'm going to try to figure out get my PS5 hooked up so we can do a BOS.
Maybe let's do that. Maybe let's do that this week. I think I'm free Saturday. Yeah. I don't know. Michael.
Oh God.
From Indeed.
Hello. Hello.
Actually, you know what? Is it all one word? Is it Michael from or Michael from Indeed?
It's good exactly how it's spelled right there right now.
Exactly like it is right there right now.
Yeah,
Michael Fromenide.
Sure. Let's do that. Why not?
Yeah. These are what happens when you get the production powers of Spencer Love. Where can the people find you?
Well, my Twitter handle is right below what is apparently my name.
Your very real, very formal name.
My very government name, absolutely. You can find me there. I do Indeed on Fightful Overbooked every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern with Righteous Reg. Talk to all your favorite people from around independent wrestling about independent wrestling. We've got who's coming up? DJ Tony D does all the amazing GCW, DPW music videos. The Struggles, who runs ETU and also does commentary for ICW and various other indies. Mung Jae Lee is coming on at the beginning of August. Sway Archer's coming on in August. Spencer Love's going to be on the show on August 23rd.
I am.
Yeah. Maybe talking about a little promotion that you might have heard of called Love Pro Wrestling.
I think I've heard of them.
Yeah. And then I do
they're
brunch.
doing okay.
I do brunch. I'm here for brunch. I don't know.
He does brunch. He does a lot of great things. Mike, thank you for being here again this morning. It's been a couple of weeks. I missed you. Yeah. It's good to see you again. It's good to see you, Lawrence. It's good to see you, Blair. And it's good to see you all in the chat. Thank you once again for being here. We're going to be live on Thursday, at least speaking for myself. We'll be back here for a double dose of Between Two Beards and Quizplex. Make sure you're here for that. We've got Matt Viviani, we've got Little Mean Kathleen, and we've got your champion, Jack Pride. We're playing for the Saving Grace Animal Shelter. So make sure you tune in, throw your super chats, and make sure you tune in for the hour prior for Between Two Beards. But we got lots of great stuff coming up this week, so make sure you stay tuned wherever podcasts are played, videos are viewed, or awesome content is created by awesome people at Love Wrestling CA. It is always appreciated. If you want to give a little bit extra, make sure you head over to that Patreon at patreon.com/Love Wrestling CA. And one more time, a huge shout out to Rich King at RK Athletics. You can find him on social media at RK Athletics 1. Make sure you're taking advantage of some great personal fitness advice, some great nutritional advice, and everything in between. It's a great, great thing to be doing. In fact, I'm going to be doing the exact same right after this, because I'm sure you can see me looking around a little. Rip's getting a little restless. So we're going to shut her down. I am going to go and get a little physical fitness in for mostly his sake. I'd love to sit here and do nothing, to be honest with you. But that's what you get when you got that handsome little dude. So we'll see you later. Thanks for tuning in, friends. For Lawrence, for Blair, for Mike, we'll see you later.